Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for May 6th, 2023, from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 16. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. I guess there's a difference between a gift and a bribe. The Bible usually looks at a bribe as a way of perverting justice, whereas a gift, you could say, open doors of opportunities. But a gift may also have some strings attached, which could create a negative for the receiver of the gift and also for the giver. Like the old cliche, there's no such thing as a free lunch. This can be contrasted with God's gift of faith given to us, which has no strings attached, but is 100% pure gift for our benefit. Verse 17, the one who states his case first seems right until others come and examines him. This proverb reminds us that we may not always critically think through our viewpoints. So we may have the perfect plan in the back of our mind, but then a friend or a spouse may point out the inconsistencies or problems with the plan. And this is a beautiful reminder for us as Christians that we should always seek out the input of good Christian friends so that we may come up with the best plan that is not made in isolation, but made in a group, in the fellowship of believers. Because our own plan of isolation, as we heard at the beginning of this chapter, is really the work of the devil and not of Christ. Verse 18, the lot puts an end to quarrels and decides between powerful contenders. The lot is considered a game of chance, you could say, by the world. But Christians understand there's no such thing as chance, that God is taking care of the world. So what happens when you need to decide something? Well, when the disciples needed to pick the replacement of Judas, they used lots to make that decision. But keep in mind, the criteria of who could be selected was already set. Someone who was with the disciples from the beginning of the earthly ministry of Jesus. So, yes, God expects us to use the reason and intellect that he has given to us. But in choosing the next disciples, there was two candidates. And so now they're thinking, how do you decide between the two candidates? Well, the lot fell to Matthias. Problem solved. Just an interesting note to all of this. By the way, it is interesting that God did pick another disciple, Saul, or Paul, as we like to call him, soon after that. But that's another story. Verse 19, a brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. Offense and quarreling is not a discussion. Hence, there can be no reconciliation with people who are offended and are quarreling. There is a lot of anger and stubbornness in people around us, including our very selves. And we do, in the midst of this strong stubbornness, put up many defensive barriers. But God's word clearly teaches that we should be discussing and trying to break these barriers down so that we may be able to live well with one another. God's peace and many blessings be with you, and thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.